Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Thursday, September 18th, 2025. Let's take a look at the charts. Big picture, very simple chart here showing the buy signal that occurred Thursday of last week above this significant 360.76 channel top. There were other things in here, as you recall, contained buying pressures for several months. We are now clearly above it, and I've been mentioning for months that if we were to close above it, as we have, that 523.03 5-year channel top becomes a 5 to 8 month objective. And we may see, with the way things are going, 523.03 much sooner than 5 to 8 months. On the way up, we do have these wave counts. I'm not going to go through them as I have the last few days. It's just too much time, but they are point counts that have been roughly containing buying pressures, actually have been containing buying pressures for the last week or so. You can see right here, the last few days anyway. And, we closed just below the 426.11, 26.67 area. I have not ever anticipated this to contain buying on a weekly basis, just a sort of, milestone on the way up. Can contain daily highs, but, yesterday's outside day high, new high settlement price over the last week or so does, certainly allow a gap right above 426.67 on Thursday. So if we do open today, above 426.67, and you might want to add yesterday's high of 428.31. If we gap above that, and there's an actual gap between yesterday's 428.31 high and Thursday's low, we could potentially see 449.08 within the day. But, it also could take 3 to 5 days, depending on volatility. So if we close today above 426.67, our targeted, which is considered at one point a 2 to 3 month objective, as you might recall, is now in reach within potentially a full week of activity if we test it today. But it could take several days. If we close today above 426.67, that is certainly a swing trade to the upside where you could hold a long position for 2 to 3 days. 449.08 is the same formation that we find on the weekly chart at 453.46. You can see I have that as a range of resistance between 449.08 and 453.46. 449.08, the beginning of a range up to 453.46 that can contain buying. I'm going to say at least through next week and quite possibly through the month of October or well into October. From here, we can fall back. If you're finding value in this analysis, it's only a glimpse of what we offer. Your real trading edge starts at wickedstocks.com. Each week, premium members receive 2 high-probability stock picks. Each one comes with a complete trade plan, including exact entry, profit target, stop loss, and regular updates so you can manage the trade with confidence. You'll also get daily video analysis in the top traded markets, the SPY, the Triple Q, and NVIDIA, highlighting the key price levels, trends, and trade setups we're focused on. Whether you're day trading or swing trading, these insights help you zero in on the highest quality opportunities with clarity. Try it all free for 5 days. Cancel at any time. We can fall back to 360.76 within possibly 3 to 5 weeks with present volatility. Could take the better part of 2 months. But just know that once we test 449.08 to 453.46, we can fall back into this zone of support. Whether that's within 2 to 3 weeks or whether that takes the better part of 2 months is anybody's guess. But the 360.76 is the beginning of a range down to 358.03 that, if tested over the coming weeks, can absorb selling through the rest of the year, and once again above which 523.03 remains a 5 to 8 month objective. And if, I don't see this by tomorrow's close, but if we settle any weekly session above the 453.46 rising channel top, that maintains an accelerated pace. We could actually see, under that scenario, 523.03 by the end of October, where we could top out not only through the rest of the year, but possibly well into 26 and fall away again. So as you may be well aware, we've expected 449.08 as a 2 to 3 week objective following the settlement late last week above 396.03, this rising channel top. This is our 3 to 5 day swing trade right here in this image. The 426.11 to 67 area can contain daily buying pressures, and below which we can fall back to 396.03 within 3 to 5 days. I'm not expecting it because it's a bit of a counter trend downside move, but if tested, 396.03 able to contain selling through next week, possibly into October, and from here we can round up within 2 to 3 weeks to the 449.08 longer midterm objective, really. Once again, if we do open today above 426.67, we just might reach 449.08 intraday. I will say if we close today above 426.67 on Friday, we could test 449.08. Once again, the beginning of a range on the weekly chart up to 453.46 that can contain buying through next week, possibly well into October trade. And from here, we could fall away for a number of weeks. If we can close any week, that is tomorrow perhaps, above 453.46, then we should see 523.03 within a matter of weeks. Working downside again, I do have a 410.04. We did test this last week. It is still a valid support level, if only because it is yesterday's low area. Yesterday's low was 409.67. If you would rather use 409.67, I don't have a problem with that. But I do think if we break 410.04, you should allow 396.03 intraday. If we close below 410.04, you should expect 396.03 tomorrow if we don't test it intraday. Once again, 396.03 is your solid opportunity to buy this market on weakness as we move into October. And from here, we can round up within 2 to 3 weeks to 449.08. And finally, if we were to close below 396.03, and it ain't going to happen today, but if we did close below it over the next few days, then we can collapse all the way back into this 358.30 to 360.76 region within 1 to 2 weeks, I would say, where we could bottom out, as I say, through the rest of the year, and above which the 449.08 level remains what I was calling a 2 to 3 month target, a 2 to 3 week objective, and the 523.03 area that I was calling a 5 to 8 month target may actually be realized within 1 or 2 months. If we close today, for instance, tomorrow above 453.46, which I actually doubt. I think we could top out here and pause for a spell. But I am ultimately expecting 523.03 following a long-term buy signal last week above 360.76. I'm going to leave it at that for Thursday's Daily Tesla Report. You have a great day.